Welcome back, everybody, to another mock draft. I am joined here by our regular guest, Michael Visenberg. How you doing today, Mikey V?
I am doing well, Cyro. Thank you for having me. And man, my brain tank is empty, and I am just full up on the NBA draft right now, heading into March Madness.
I bet. And today we're actually going to have team considerations because I feel like the standings are narrow enough to I typically do it once like the lottery or like at least the playoff standings are set, but with such a big gap, like the Warriors are literally locked into the plan, so the Western Conference like playoff play-in setting is almost set in terms of which teams are lotto teams and which aren't. And the same goes for the East. So we're gonna sim right here. If it's like one that we don't like, we will redo the sim of the lottery. For example, if the Spurs got the number one pick, we're just gonna redo it because it's just not fun. Now, like, comment, and subscribe. What are your opinions on any of these players? Who do you want to have the number one pick? Maybe this is what we got. The
I like
Hawks.
it.
You want it? You want to do it?
Yeah.
All right. I don't know if you want to do best of three. I don't even know if we can.
I don't know if we can, but yeah, let's just get started.
I think it says you can see the history, so I think we can do best of three, if that makes sense.
Do you want to do it again? Oh, okay.
I already.
All right.
I feel like this is
similar.
Then we'll just do one more.
They just love the Hawks having the first pick. Okay. Yeah, I'm good with that too.
I like this one better. I like this one better. I like this.
Yeah.
Out of the three, I like this one better because I felt like a lot of the better teams all ended up on the back end of the lotto.
I'm interested. Can you tell people about the format we decided this time?
Oh, we're just going to go back and forth, guys. We usually collaborate on each and every single pick. The way it's going to start, Mikey's going to be the Pacers in this situation. I'm going to be the Hawks. He's going to be the Wizards. Then the Mavs, then the Nets, and like just
odds
trading off.
Odds and evens. I've got the odds. Cyro's got the evens.
Yeah. So let's get right into it. I'm excited.
Good.
I'm actually like really excited with like everything that's happened over the last few weeks. It's definitely the energy's palpable, if that makes sense. Of like I'm just so intrigued who's going to get the top three picks because like that's just going to be such a game changer, and I feel like it hasn't been like that for a while. So let's hear who you're going.
With all the talk of tanking and everything like that too.
And it's so dumb.
I'm sure. Well, tanking has made things a little less fun this year. Let's just put it that way. Made things a little suspicious in some cases, and then now with gambling being so intertwined and everything, I get it.
Yes.
But at the same time, like I'd like for them to find some sort of solution. I think they tried to smooth the odds, and that hasn't really been great as a solution to tanking. But yeah, we'll see what they come up with. Hopefully it's not something too absurd. And then I'm sure you and I will get into it, but like, I think you and I both agree that once you get to like out of the top 20 or down in like after the first round, that's when a lot of underclassmen are probably thinking about going back to college.
Yes, we've talked about
the money is just there to compete with whatever you're getting on that first contract, and then to maybe even possibly try to move up and get more money on that first contract that next year, especially with the high school class coming in not being quite as strong. But yeah, let's just get right into it. And we, as Cyro mentioned, we're going by teams. The Indiana Pacers are selecting Cameron Boozer. I do realize they have Pascal Siakam. I think they're just going to figure that out and make something work. But to me, Cameron Boozer has absolutely solved college basketball this year. He has an impeccable track record of winning, quick decision maker, incredibly strong. One of the most productive freshman seasons we've ever seen in a freshman class that is absolutely stacked with three guys, I think, consensus first-team All-Americans, with Cameron Boozer being consensus National Player of the Year.
I couldn't agree more with everything you said. And for the Pacers, I think it would be probably a decision between Darryn Peterson or Cam Boozer.
Mhm.
And I have a feeling, honestly, if this was the case, they would go Cam Boozer stylistically for what Rick Carlisle likes to do. I think he would be a perfect fit. And I think in a weird way with Zubats, Pascal, like they would figure it out, and it wouldn't be a situation where we saw with Cooper Flag that they would be forcing him into a role that he wouldn't be playing, because he would be the unquestioned four. It would be Pascal, who they would have to figure out how to use him. And I'm fine with Pascal figuring that out. Now, I think right here, it's the Atlanta Hawks. And even if AJ Dybantsa has had a great end to the year, I think they already have too many combo forwards, and just they have Zachary Richeche. They have themselves, obviously, Jalen Johnson. Potentially, they're going to keep Jonathan Kuminga. And then you think about the rest of the squad. I really like the idea of Darryn Peterson going here. We heard the recent reporting of the body cramps. And I don't know why, but reading the report reminded me of Paulo Banchero, and when he was at Duke and they were making the whole sweating a big deal for him, like that he was cramping up and he was drinking this special juice or drink on the sideline. And people were, I guess, surprised when he ended up being the number one pick, in the sense that it came out the Orlando Magic had allegedly had him as their unquestioned number one pick for months after the draft was revealed. And I think Darryn Peterson, again, I think the whole situation, a combination of Kansas themselves being one of the worst communicators as an athletic department, and Bill Self also notoriously being very ominous with how he messages his players' absences, and then just Peterson's camp. I'm not worried unless something comes out terrible that he has congenital. If he has Brandon Roy's knees, which I that's not at all anything being
seems to
heard.
be no sign of that.
Yeah. So I think dude, there was multiple times this season though where he did look explosive, for flashes, and I'm not worried.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the Hawks take Darryn Peterson. I love that idea, and if they bring back CJ McCollum, I think that's a really cool backcourt that they could develop him in either their lead guard or as their shooting guard. So you're the Wizards now.
Yes, sir. So this is the first time in a draft, in the words of former draft analyst and the late great John Sharks put it, you really have to nail it at the top of the draft. And I think there's still a tier of three guys that I have at the top of the draft. And I honestly feel like this is the first year where I will say, a lot of people will do the 1A, 1B. To me, I've always had a pretty concrete number one. Mm-hmm. And I'm absolutely leaning Cameron Boozer right now, as I chose with my first pick. But I think all three of these guys are such all-NBA talents. And so with the third pick, I am taking AJ Dybantsa. Think he's just improved throughout the year, is an incredible scoring talent, top scorer in the NCAA this season. And he's huge. He can play either forward position. I think there's still a lot of versatility there, ability to hit tough shots. I think for people that are worried about his defense, it's at least workable, and he just has that athleticism and fluidity. So to me, even with Washington having quite a few wings, and having Alex Sarr, I think slotted in more as the four-man, you just take AJ Dybantsa and see what you do from there, because he's a guy that I think could eventually become one of the best scorers in the NBA.
Yeah, and I think going off of what you said, with the way Alex Sarr has developed and with that team, how it's being built, oh my God, that they're prioritizing length and just size, and that they have Trae Young, I think it's kind of one of the better landing spots for AJ, because he'll fit into what the team's profiling as the type of players that they want.
If they get any three of those guys next year and a healthy AD, Trae Young, plus all the young guys they're building with, they're going to be a serious, like, they might not even be a play-in team. They'll probably be like, you know, at least they could be a possible top 4 team in the East.
I completely agree. And right here, I think this is a no-brainer. I think some people might love the idea theoretically of Caleb Wilson and Cooper Flag playing together because of that athleticism. I think that would just be a irresponsible decision on the Mavericks or anybody suggesting that, because you need a initiator. You saw so far, and kudos to Ryan Nembhard. We're a fan of him. I was a fan of him in the pre-draft. He is a great playmaking guard, but like, he shouldn't be your best point guard, pure floor general on your team when he is 5'10 and at best a really good backup. Now, in my opinion, Kingston Flemings is who I would go right here, coming out of Houston. I think out of the guards that would be available, he is the truest to being a facilitator, to being the orchestrator of a symphony who's going to prioritize playmaking. He's dishing out 6 assists per 36 against just, 2 steals a night as well on the other side. 6'4", runs an offense, knows how to assert himself, knows when to delegate. And yeah, he might not be the explosive scoring type, but if Kyrie's sticking around, or if not, I think having him be the guy to create for Cooper is going to open up a lot of things for not just Flemings, but Cooper as well. And he's a defensive-minded guy. That's why I have him over potentially Darius, Acuff, and Mikel Brown, who I do like Brown and Acuff, but they're both more score-first guys who aren't going to help create for, Daniel Gafford, PJ Washington, a lot of guys who also need to be set up rather than just straight up being isolation scores. And I think if you're looking out of the guards here, Flemings is the one I think that can come in right now and do it, because he's playing on a really good team.
Yeah. And I think possibly his playing on that team is the reason why he might not have the point production as some of these other players as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's like really talented scorer. His ability, his quickness, ability to get to the paint. And as you mentioned, like the extra defensive layer with Kingston Flemings, I think is what I still have him as the top point guard in the draft as well. And I know there are a lot of people I talk to that have Caleb Wilson that say it's a 4-man tier instead of a 3-man tier. But yeah, I still would have Kingston in the same tier as a Caleb Wilson. And I think that's a good pick for the Mavericks as well.
And last time we did a mock, you and I agreed that we believe that the second tier is a 4-man tier of Caleb, Darius, Kingston, and Mikel, and whatever. You and I believe that 4 and 5 is Kingston and Caleb, and then it's Darius and Mikel. But
yeah, I'm still with you. So for the 5th pick in the Brooklyn Nets, I will take Caleb Wilson.
Okay.
I think the Nets are just rebuilding that team in general, and Caleb is such a great athlete. I think he would fit really well with Michael Porter Jr. also. But yeah, I just think the Nets need talent, and Caleb, I think we mentioned this last time as well, Cyro, but like in the matchups against AJ Dybantsa, against Darryn Peterson, and against Cam Boozer, Caleb, I don't even think arguably like just had the better game of all 4 of those players. I still think he needs to refine a few things. His shooting, he was getting better as a playmaker, but still could get a little better in terms of feel. But yeah, a lot of defensive upside there with Caleb also, and he's such a great athlete. Even with you saying Kingston being 6'4", like I think there's a possibility that like Kingston and Caleb might measure a little bit shorter than their listed college heights, but yeah, like still good size for position.
And that's a great pick for Brooklyn. So far we've had, just to remind everyone where we're at on this, the Indiana Pacers taking Cameron Boozer, the Atlanta Hawks taking Darryn Peterson with the second pick, third pick being AJ Dybantsa to the Washington Wizards. Fourth pick is the Dallas Mavericks, Kingston Flemings, and the fifth pick being Caleb Wilson. Now, sixth is the Sacramento Kings, and this is a guard. They need to usher in the next era. And I think personally, you go Darius. You need a guy who is going to be playing with some swagger, who's going to be able to put pressure on the defense, either at the rim, through his scoring. He's a guy that shows he has the ability to create for others, and he's a bomber, and he's doing it at almost 61% true shooting. Now, defensively, there's some questions, but this whole team has defensive questions. And if the idea is DeAndre Hunter and Keegan Murray and Nick Clifford, I think I like the ability that he has as a shot maker to be a franchise guard. And whoever ends up being their coach moving forward, Doug Christie or whoever else, I think Scott Perry has built around a Jalen Brunson type before, and I think he's going to like the idea of that with Darius.
Yeah, Darius Acuff's shooting this year has been absolutely absurd, and I think it's heavily impressive. Just named the SEC Player of the Year, the SEC Tournament MVP, and when I mentioned the 3 first-team All-Americans, I was talking about Cameron Boozer, AJ Dybantsa, and Darius Acuff Jr. And yeah, Darius has been, and they're mentioning him amongst one of the best freshmen ever for John Calipari, which, like, you know, he's coached 2 MVPs, plethora of all-stars. Yeah, he's been super impressive. I don't even think it's an argument that he's like the most complete offensive guard out of the point guard class here. It will be about, you know, the two-way play, but he's so ridiculously good on offense, good at shooting, good at creating. And I would make the same picks here. So yeah, I like that one also. And then we are on to the Utah Jazz. Are we on to the Utah?
Yes, we're on the Utah Jazz.
Okay, yeah. Did they do anything with this pick for Jaren Jackson Jr.? That's what I'm wondering. Okay, yeah, but if it is, so let's say it is.
It should, from my understanding, a Fanspo would have updated that.
Okay, I would hope so, but yeah.
If somebody
I think it was the Pacers that were the 5 takes.
Yeah, the Pacers were. So if anybody catches any discrepancies with the picks, let us know. We should have probably done that.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm hoping if Fanspo does have it 7 to the Jazz.
Historically, they've done well with
yeah. And I'm still going to go with a guy that I had rated quite high heading into the season. Has ups and downs, has injuries, but I just think there's still a ton of offensive talent there. So I'm going to go with Mikel Brown Jr. Yeah, the high volume 3-point shooting with him is always
even with
really
Collier and Keontae George, especially with both of them kind of asserting themselves as starting level or quality potentially.
I still am not sure about Isaiah Collier as a starting level, and I think Keontae George, as well as he's done on ball, is still, I think, even better off ball.
Okay.
But yeah, like I think they're either going to go with Brown Jr. or Wagler here. I'm not sure who else they would take.
I would go Wagler if I would, like, personally, just because he fits like what I think they need and be able to maybe crack their 9-man rotation.
In what way do you feel he's what they need over Mikel Brown Jr.?
He's a guy who doesn't need the ball in his hand, and he's going to be a 3-point shooter who will also be a secondary playmaker that can play off of Lowry and Jaren and space the floor, as well as playing off of Collier and Keontae George, and they need more 3-point shooting. They don't need another guard who's going to need the ball in his hand when they have 2 guys that they're trying to figure out, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're already planning on bringing in a veteran guard to be in there. So I wouldn't just bring another point guard that they have to figure it out, that they've already been trying to figure it out with Collier and Keontae George when they're trying to make a jump to being competitive next year. And I think that's why I would go Wagler.
I don't think Mikel Brown Jr. necessarily fits the needs the ball in his hand kind of guard as well, because he has a lot of shooting versatility also.
But I would be wanting to make him my point guard while like with
I mean, I just think there's still versatility there, and I'd be fine making him my point guard. Yeah, like to me, I think he could play with a Keontae George and a Isaiah Collier also.
Yeah. That's your pick.
Yeah, I still see like just so much talent there, and I just think his ability to run an offense while also just being a real shooting threat, I think would fit really well with the pieces that Utah already has also.
Yeah, no, I get when you put it like that. I think it's maybe just a difference in opinions on how they're building the team. I think they would just want to have a 6'6" shooting guard next to and to have that next to the Lowry Market and Jaren Jackson Jr., Walker Kessler starting lineup that they've said that they're going to run. That's
to me, I still think they're kind of looking for that like lead guard. Like to me, Keontae George is not the lead guard for that team's future.
I understand if that's how you feel.
Yeah.
Now,
as well as he's done, he's had a season,
and even Collier's have made some great progress.
Absolutely, but I think with Isaiah Collier, like he's a fantastic guy to run your second unit. So
yeah. So now the Memphis Grizzlies have the 8th overall pick, and I think this would be, I mean, low-key Nate Ament is a Grizzlies pick, but like I do believe it would be between Keaton Wagler and Yaxel Lendeborg. That's who I think they would probably be deciding, because I think they would like the idea of having Lendeborg play next to Santi Aldama and also next to Zach Edey, and having seen his success, I think that would be something that they would be interested in. However, I think you can't pass up Keaton Wagler and this team. Yes, they probably will try to get off Contavious Caldwell-Pope, and Jalen Wells has had not a sophomore slump, but like a sophomore stagnation. And obviously Cedric Coward has been fantastic. I like the idea of Keaton Wagler going there, gives them more shooting. They need shooting, especially if they have Ja. So I have the Memphis Grizzlies going with Keaton Wagler, who I think at a 6'6" big shooting guard, averaging 18 points, 5 rebounds, 4.5 assists. He's shooting 60% true shooting. He's all season made the winning plays. And I think the biggest knock on him is he's just not an ISO scorer, and that's going to be evident in the NBA because he isn't a good enough athlete or ball handler to create that separation, at least right now. Maybe he can in the future, but right now it doesn't seem like it. So that's who I go with, the 8th pick for the Grizzlies, Keaton Wagler.
I really think also that he is a Grizzlies pick. Like I think that he has a lot of in terms of shooting, in terms of feel. I think he would be a good Grizzlies pick, and especially for what they're trying to rebuild there. He doesn't necessarily come in and give them John Morant, as you said, but like the trade-off there, I think the Grizzlies would really appreciate in a guy like
he fits perfect though for Ja. The playoff.
He does. I at the same time do not feel like Ja is going to be there long. So
yeah, obviously, but I'm just whoever it is. Now
he would play well with Ja. Yeah, he would play well with Ty Jerome too. Yeah, with their lack of burst, but
I agree.
Shoot the absolute hell out of the ball and have great feel.
Tumasi Salo would like him.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. He's been great. Awesome freshman season. Came out of nowhere. And we are at the
Chicago Bulls with the 9th overall pick.
Chicago Bulls. All right.
I will show you a little bit of the draft board just to give you an idea. I don't think you're going to go that far, so we're going to go back.
No. Go a little down, because the guy I'm going to pick for the Bulls is down there. Gosh, how far down is? Oh, there he is. Yep,
I know who it is.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure you have an idea right now. Yeah, I just think, to me, you can go for an upside swing with Nate Ament, but the last two guys you've taken in the draft are Matas Buzelis and Noah Essengay. So I'm going to go with he might be a little undersized for a center, but he's been so productive this year. He plays really hard. So I'm going with Hans Steinbach at the 9th pick.
So can I say something before you continue?
Yeah.
I'm shocked. I thought it was Chris Sinak you were going. And then
no, man. Yeah,
but I love this pick.
What made you think Sinak though?
Because the way that they're building this team with Buzelis and Essengay, I thought they would have won a running gun center and Sinak. But when you put Steinbach, honestly, Steinbach is more of a Bulls center after having Vooch all these years. They have Stick Smith. I mean, Collins will probably be gone, I think. And with Arturas Karnisovas, the guy running the Chicago Bulls,
yeah,
being a European guy and very, very much a fan of the Euro game, they would take a flyer on Steinbach, run an undersized big who's kind of like dominates the glass. He does have a wide body. He can carve out space. And I think they would love the idea of Giddey and Buzelis and Steinbach being together. Like, I actually think that's a very Bulls pick.
Yeah, like a talented, productive guy. Maybe not like an insane upside guy, but like he's just been so good this year.
He's been creating shots with no guards.
Yeah. And I think there's upside to get a lot better on offense with him as well. Like I don't think the shooting is like something that you're completely out on with him. So yeah, to me, just kind of an interesting shakeup pick, and they can certainly use some depth up front. And to me, I think he would get minutes like sooner rather than later also. So yeah, that's why I'm going with Steinbach at 9.
I think Steinbach would start off as center by the committee, and by the end of the year be their starting center.
I agree.
Now, with the 10th pick, the Milwaukee Bucks are on the clock if they keep this pick. There's Brayden Burries, but is Brayden Burries enough of a offensive difference maker for a team that is desperate for talent to fill out the roster for them to take it? Or would they continue their trend of taking the high potential prospect and Nate Ament? Or would they take the NBA ready Yaxel Lendeborg, where maybe he might not be the scorer and have the potential that a Brayden Burries have? However, I like to remind people Brayden Burries is actually an older prospect. I believe he's going to be 20, right?
Yeah,
older freshman.
He was September 2005 birthday. So he's going to be 21 before he starts his NBA career.
So there you go. And that's not really in Yaxel. Yeah, he's going to be 23, but I'm going to go with Yaxel.
I think around 24 before he starts his NBA career too.
24?
Or is he turning 23?
I think he's turning 23.
Got you.
Yeah, at 23.7, he'll be turning 24. You're right.
Yep.
So, yes, he's an older player, graduate guy, but playing out of position. He's stuffing the stat sheet. Yeah, he might be a jack of all trades, a master of none, but you have a guy who can pass, dribble, shoot, is the quintessential definition of a 1 through 5 defender. I think if you're a contending team at the 10th pick, you want a guy who's playing next to Aday Mara and Morris Johnson, two non-floor spacing bigs, and being able to create for others. He's someone who's going to be a plug-and-play player who is a 4, who can then moonlight at the 3 or the 5, and I think that's going to be very valuable. Maybe he never becomes an all-star or something, but I think he's going to have a long career being a productive player who just does all the things that a coach asks for him.
So do you see them as a contending team or a rebuilding team? Because it's like
I took that pick with them keeping Giannis Antetokounmpo on the team, and that if they weren't going to keep Giannis, I think I would have taken Nate Ament. Man, what have I taken Nate Ament?
I don't know. Yeah.
I might have taken LeBaron Phylon.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather have LeBaron than Brayden.
Got you.
Yeah, I'm operating under the assumption that Giannis is gonna stay at least for this year. So Bucks take Mr. Yaxel Lendeborg with the 11th pick. The Portland Trailblazers are on the clock. How fitting is it for you to be the Portland Trailblazers?
Pretty fitting, as I do live in Portland, Oregon. Yeah, it's interesting because the Blazers next year, you're assuming they have a pretty full complement of guards, while also having a number of forwards, much like Nate Ament. And then they've taken a center the last 2 years in the draft, Donovan Clingan, who's been doing exceptionally well, Jan Hansen, who's doing well in the G League. I've been to a number of his games, but still, I think, a ways from contributing on NBA floor. But yeah, I'm going to make this pick not only because I have grown. This player's really grown on me, and I think has had an exceptional season on one of the best teams in college basketball. And the Blazers with Shaedon Sharpe, I would guess it would be Drew Holiday, Shaedon Sharpe at the 2 spot, and but at the same time, they both have dealt with a lot of injuries, and I see him more as a shooting guard than a lead guard. But I'm going to go with Brayden Burries, who we unfortunately passed over last time we did a mock draft when we had mentioned him in a group of players, but it was our mistake. But yeah, I'm thinking Brayden Burries is at least in the lottery range at this point. Leading scorer on one of the best teams in college basketball, plays exceptionally hard. You talk about the age. He's really he started off the season slow and then just went on an absolute hot streak. Has improved as a shooter and scorer just through his time in high school and college basketball, and goes really hard defensively. Doesn't have the exact measurements you would hope for in a guard his size. Isn't really long. But yeah, it plays really hard, and I'm starting to think he's going to end up at least being in the late lottery to mid first round range, and happy to take him as depth and somebody who could help the Blazers contribute right away.
Yeah, I agree. I like Brayden Burries. I want to see his measurements, even though
he's 6'4" with like a 6'5" wingspan.
Yeah, I think that's kind of very evident, but he does a good job of using his body to attack and contain players, even though he's not the biggest guy on defense. And I think his ability to be a secondary playmaker is underrated. Again, like you said, he caught on late. He's on a very loaded team.
Yeah,
I think there's things to like about him. I'm just, I find it interesting. Obviously, like turning 21 as a rookie, it's not like a deal breaker. Derek Queen was this year, but it's just something to take into consideration.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so we're here, the 12th pick, the Golden State Warriors. I think this is going to be a front court player. I mean, maybe it's a Braylon Mullins, but I think shooting, the Warriors know they can find that in free agency, and something that's held them back the last few seasons is just having a capable big. And no offense to Al Horford or Quentin Post, but if you look, even if they brought back Kristaps Porzingis, they don't have somebody to come in and give them size. And to me, this might be a reach. Maybe they trade back to do this, and that's something that I think you're looking at Jaden Quaintance, and I don't think I think he might just go back and try to rehab another year, unless he's getting feedback that he still go in the lottery. But I think he'd be a guy who could make money, go back another year, and just get right. Peterson is not somebody that they would be interested in because he's undersized. Same thing with Morris Johnson, even though I like him. So Patrick Gungba and Aday Mara would be the two guys that I think they would consider. Going back,
do you think either of them like plays a ton for them off the bat though?
I think they would look at Aday Mara probably similarly to how the Grizzlies saw Zach Edey.
Really? Yeah, I think there's a pretty massive difference just in like Zach Edey's ability to get his hands and his ability to get like carve out space in the post and get positioning to me is like hugely different. Even if Mara is a better rim protector, yeah, and I think Zach was a lot more fluid.
And I know Zach's like 50, the same height, but 50 pounds heavier.
Yeah, Zach is he's so big. Man.
I think though, like again, like I'm gonna go. This is gonna be my like saucy one. I'm gonna go Aday Mara because I also think I think first off, I do believe that Michigan and Arizona are like the two favorites to win the March Madness, and Aday Mara could end up having like an insane March Madness, and that sells him on execs' minds. But again, this is going back to my idea of that they're running back the same team, and even if they brought back Kristaps Porzingis, they have Porzingis, Al Horford, and Quinn Post. So the only guy that they can really rely on, and Draymond Green, that they can rely upon in that front court rotation to be healthy every night is going to be Quinn Post. So I think the idea is you're bringing in a huge player that you can't, somebody that you wouldn't be able to get in free agency to be an absolute giant who can protect the rim, has soft hands, is the decent passer. Yes, there's concern about his mobility, but he's a unique enough offensive player with the defensibility and to give them just something that they haven't had since Andrew Bogut. And if they're really trying to win a title, I think this is the type of swing you take because you feel like this is something that could give you an edge that you don't have and you can't acquire. And with Porzingis, regardless if they keep him or not, this is an insurance for him before, like if they keep him and for to be his successor.
The toughness and screen setting of Andrew Bogut, I think, set him so far apart from him. I'm still like, yeah, man, to go from us saying he was going to go back to school to you having him in the lottery is at least surprising to me. But yeah, I know a lot of people do love Aday Mara.
I'm not an Aday Mara fan.
I think you're a Mara stan now?
No, I said I'm not.
So that's why I'm so surprised you took him 12, man, and you're expecting him to come in and really like.
Well, I think he's good enough to be a top 20 pick. I think out of the bigs available in this draft class, I think he is at the top.
But you're talking about him coming in and helping them, like being like the Andrew Bogut that was missing from.
Well, like basically to play the Zach Edey role for them,
even with Kristaps,
and to be this, wide body screener who's also just being an A and B rim running or short roll passer, who just to give them something that to be an insurance policy to if they don't keep Porzingis, or if they do keep Porzingis, and then to be his successor, while also just giving them a look that they haven't had because they haven't had a massive big, and they've been at their best a lot of the times when historically when they've had a huge guy who can set those screens. And I think he's someone that with the players that are available on the board, he's the only one that I think that they could maybe trade back and do this deal, but like, I'm just saying, like, I think he could be someone that, yeah, it's a risky pick, but I could see Mike Dunleavy in the front office believing that this is a risk that could really be a risk that benefits them because it gives them a different team that they haven't had. And with just what they're stuck in with Jimmy and Steph and Draymond, I think it's, when I look at this board, I think I'm just trying to be creative with this pick, and that the Warriors were the 12th pick. And
did you like Mara more than Gongba just in general, or just for the Warriors?
I'm not crazy about Gongba, but
interesting. Okay.
But no, but like, no, like, but going off what you said, I think in general I like Gangba better for all teams, but I don't think Gangba is what the Warriors don't run like pick and rolls like that and stuff and ball screens, just running, you know, high pick and rolls like you would see other teams that I think would utilize Gangba better. So I think for the Warriors, if they were deciding to bring somebody in, I think they rather go for Amara than Gangba. And also, again, durability being a concern for them, I think they would want to go with Mara, who's been a bit more durable than Gangba has in his career.
Well, to me, 7'3" players don't have the best track record.
Yeah, but 7'3" doesn't grow on trees.
But yeah. Well, they already have a 7'3" player, so I guess they have two leaves with you making that pick. All right, now with the 13th pick, the Charlotte Hornets, who are a really fun team. I got to see them on Tuesday when they played the Portland Trailblazers. And it's looking like Miles Bridges is probably not much longer there. I'm wondering how long they're going to spend with Tidjane Salaam. I'm still really intrigued by Nate Ament. I don't even necessarily love him at this spot with the Hornets.
Braylon Mullins seems like a Hornets pick right here with the new regime.
But like they already have Brandon Miller and Concanipple. So yeah, that's why it'd be kind of confusing to me to take another guard. Like, granted, at this spot, you are kind of looking to build your rotation. I just still think Nate Ament's a really intriguing prospect. I think this wasn't the best we saw of him at Tennessee. I think there's a lot to build on there. And he still did have a solid year, at least statistically. He had some really good moments in the SEC. A lot of talent there. I think his shooting is going to build in time. And just the potential shoot pass dribble ability of Nate Ament at that size, I think it's pretty rare. So I would just take a flyer on him at 13 with the Hornets and hope that he grows into at least a good rotation piece, if not a potential, starting power forward in time.
Yeah, I could see them debating between Nate Ament and Braylon Mullins just because of who Jeff Peterson's been drafting. I know they already have guys there, but I just think he has the intangibles, the play style that they're looking for. Same thing with Liam McNeely that they had drafted, I think. And if Bridges is gone or leaving, I think they would just want to continue stacking on players that they think are the archetypes that this team should embody. Speaking of Braylon Mullins, he has, since returning from that ankle injury, he has been a low usage sharpshooting wing for Dan Hurley's Huskies. I was going to say UConn, but Huskies, that's what their mascot is called. He's averaging 12 points, decent rebounder. He's actually, I know UConn's a good defensive squad, but Mullins, for being a scrappy white boy, is a better defender than people think. He tries. He keeps his hips, squared in front of his opponent, and he's shown he doesn't need the ball in his hands. And he's someone who's actually posting a 22.2% usage rate, which I think is for being on a UConn team in the role that Liam McNeely, Jordan Hawkins have played before him. He's probably the least ball dominant out of them. And his game is really just him playing off of reads and just reacting, using his IQ and his hustle. And to me, if the San Antonio Spurs are the 14th pick, like they are right here, out of all the guys available, I think they're a team. Maybe Bennett Sturts, you could talk me into them maybe being interested in, or Thomas Haugh. But it's Thomas Haugh, right? Or Haugh, that's what it is. Thomas Haugh. I knew I said it wrong as soon as I said it, but no Thomas Haugh. But I think, Braylon Mullins fits what they want and what they would need, especially if Champagny ends up being moved this offseason, because I think he's expiring. I think Braylon Mullins fits what the Spurs would want right here.
Yeah, shooters around Vic, and then I think the thing with Sturts there is you have Fox, you have Harper,
Exactly.
you have Castle, who all are like, guys who would be very happy being lead guard, and do I would say it's going to be more Fox and Harper, but yeah, like I know Stephon Castle said he envisioned himself as a point guard, so yeah, I think it would be maybe a few too many cooks there, even with as talented as Bennett Sturts is.
I agree.
OKC. All right. 15th pick. They could take a big. I think they're going to do whatever they can to try and keep Isaiah Hartenstein in the fold. He's been super valuable for them. So yeah, they may make some trades to work around that one. And man, yeah. You know what? Yeah, I a little bit of a do everything guy that I think they might look at. A number of years ago, I did a really rudimentary kind of project where I went over. There was a site called 82games.com, and they had you just added the 3 major offensive statistical categories, and it put them in certain tiers. And I went over that, and I did that with every single draft pick over the past 20 years up to that point. Yeah, I think it was in 2011, let's say. And it might have been 2012 with that 2011 rookie class. But the guy who was, and I did, the best of that pick, the worst of that pick, and then the median, kind of like an expectation of whatever pick. And the median guy for the 12th pick in the draft was Nick Collison. And so I think that Thomas Haugh would fit that for like an Oklahoma City Thunder as much as Nick Collison did it at 12. OKC at 15. Might look at a guy like Thomas Haugh, see that he contributes a little bit everywhere. Tries really hard defensively. Just another possible rotation piece to build there, as opposed to maybe going after another big guy who would get hurt in a Pat Gongba. But yeah, so I'm going to go with Thomas Haugh at the 15th pick.
I actually like that pick. I think Thomas Haugh is a perfect guy. He's, first off, a great off-ball player. He's a solid slasher. He's a guy who's also, I wouldn't say like a sniper, but he's a volume shooter, or in his minutes, he'll put up shots. Like, he plays in a very efficient game. He's either going to attack the rim and either get a bucket or draw an and one, or just draw a foul, or just hit the shots. Like, I just think he plays a very translatable game into the NBA. Yeah. Similar to how like different positions, but like how Christian Brown, like some people might have not thought that he would have been like this successful in the NBA, but like if you look back, his game was very much translatable to the NBA. Now, the follow that up, the 16th pick after the Oklahoma City Thunder is again the Oklahoma City Thunder have the 16th pick, and you decided not to go get a big. And if they were to stay here, I'm going to have them take a big, because I do believe that they would be thinking, okay, Thomas Sorber got hurt. Isaiah Hartenstein also got hurt. Chet got hurt. Like, let's go ahead and find ourselves a player who is just another insurance policy. And they're going to have to make a trade. Maybe they don't even go big because they end up having to, Lou Dort ends up leaving, or they end up having to do something, or end up trading one of these picks, which is possible because they might not decide that they want to get rid of anybody in their roster. So to me, I think if you look at the potential options here, I think Patrick and Gungba would be the best option. I don't know if you agree with that, but
can I make a prediction here?
Yeah, go for it.
That you were saying all these things, and then looked at Jaden Quaintance and Pat Gongba, and we're like, these guys have been constantly hurt.
Yeah, because at first, well, I was gonna go Chris Sinak at a point where I thought like Chris Sinak was going to be and I think that's where maybe I still pivot right here after you call me out right there, Chris Sinak. But like,
was that true at all? Or
a little bit like right there, like I didn't think like I guess so because like when I looked down and I saw who my options were, I was like, damn, I'm saying all this and Jaden Quaintance isn't who I want. Yeah,
and a guy who like had lots of injuries in high school, missed the entire ACC tournament.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go right here. Chris Sinak is who I would go with as a potential choice right here.
You're playing with house money too, like
exactly.
That's the thing with the Thunder. I don't know if they're going to trade out of this draft and try and get more assets with these picks. They certainly could, but it's still a good draft. So yeah, it's interesting. They have so many contracts and guys coming back on the roster, so maybe they just do it out of necessity. But yeah, I could see Sinak being a possibility there for sure.
I think like maybe there's a dark horse that they're like weirdly fans of Koa P and they think that like his undersize could work, but I just wouldn't risk it. I think if they're going to go for someone, they're going to take the upside. Chris Sinak, 6'11", 240. He's really over the last like second, really in conference play, he's becoming more of the inside scorer we want to see. Besides anchoring the paint and being someone who can guard arguably 3 through 5, but he gobbles up boards and he doesn't need the ball in his hands. I think for them, he can come in and just be a rim running, shot swatting big who to start off is just playing off of lobs, putbacks, and dump offs at the dunker spot. And if it pans out, like maybe either him or Sorber ends up being the running mate next to Chet. And like you said, you're playing with how much?
Spend a lot of time on the blue, possibly even, and just he'd have a lot of time to still develop and get ready to. I think with Sinak, to me, you want him to become a center like that. Yeah. That's his best position. And Chet is somebody who you could play at either the 4 or the 5 and be very fine with. So yeah, Sinak has great measurements. Really good athlete, has gotten better as the season's progressed, and just with as far as injury concerns, when you have Thomas Sorber coming off the torn ACL as well, he's, to my knowledge, the least injury prone of Jaden Quaintance, Gongba, and himself.
Exactly, and still has size.
Well, isn't it ironic that I am drafting for the Miami Heat, sir?
It is ironic.
The person wearing the Miami Hurricanes. Do you want to trade me a pick?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Just was wondering.
I want to see what you would do.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, that is good to know. They did just take Kasparas Jakushonis last year. And yeah, gosh. I think they could still use a lot of depth at the you know what? Maybe I'll just take a guy who is shown that he can take like a ton of usage and just add to, the amount of talent that Miami has. Oh, you know what? No. Yeah, I'm going to go with somebody I just think would be kind of an interesting pick there. I'm going to go with Cameron Carr. 6'5", 6'6" guy, 7'2" wingspan, 8'10" standing reach, shoots really well. Somebody that I think could use the Heat culture, weight room kind of ideals and build on the skills that he already has in his breakout season this year as a junior at Baylor. Now rip it to shreds, Cyro.
I actually really like that. I think Cameron Carr is someone that, dude, like he could really follow like the Trey Murphy trajectory and be like this flamethrower bomber. and has like that 7 foot plus wingspan that makes him able to guard multiple positions. Comes into Miami where they're going to have him whipped up into shape and in a place
Trey's
where
3 inches or 4 inches taller. That's the one difference there. But yeah, like he plays well beyond his height. Let's just put it that way.
yeah, and obviously that's definitely I think a result of him being with a 7'2" wingspan.
Yeah, that's at least what the Baylor website says, and they also say he has an 8'10" standing reach, which is like pretty ideal, like right in the average of an NBA small forward. So yeah, he seems like a guy who could fit pretty well at either wing spot right now.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Now, the 18th pick is the Toronto Raptors, and I'm going to go LeBaron Philon right here.
Let's go.
He's slid in this our draft. I think the previous ones we had him lottery or right outside the lottery. I know that was the 18th pick, but LeBaron Philon, he came back to school last year, was a combo guard who was like their defensive kind of energy guy, and then Mark Sears went to the NBA, and LeBaron Philon as a sophomore showed that he can be this explosive high volume scorer who is a combo guard with point guard like tendencies. He's averaging 22 points a night, 63% true shooting. He's plays at like a breakneck speed. He knows how to get to his spots, creates for others. He's a little small. He's like 175 pounds, but dude, he still goes into is able to penetrate into the paint, attacks the rim. I think at the very least, he's a microwave scorer with 6-man potential. At best, he's a two-way guard that needs a little bit of grooming. So I think he's the perfect player for Darko Rajakovic, who Emmanuel quickly would probably benefit from some competition from a young guard like Philon, or maybe allow them to move off of him.
Yeah, I just think, you're looking for depth there, just building talent.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Ooh, we're going to go 19, the Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah, man. So they already took Keaton Wagler.
Mm-hmm.
And, dude, I'm wondering if they just also a lot of backcourt talent here. I'm fully assuming they move on from Ja Morant. I'm looking at Christian Anderson, man, and just thinking that, really talented floor general.
Okay.
Great shooter as well. So yeah, I'm kind of intrigued by like the potential of Christian Anderson. I would think Bennett Sturts would be in the conversation as well, but yeah, like Christian Anderson, Keaton Wagler, backcourt of the future there.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So Christian Anderson, do you think that's like a reach for him at 19, or do you think like
not really?
Did you know he leads all of college basketball in total points through either scored points plus assisted points in the entirety? So I thought that was.
I would think it would be like Acuff, but yeah, it's certainly seems like it would be possible.
Yeah, isn't?
But yeah, he creates a ton of offense. Great shooter, tough. Yeah, he's had a fantastic sophomore season. A guy who started high school, I think, at like around 5'8", and committed to Michigan, I think, when he was 5'8". And
killed it in Europe last year, or in the world.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, did some big things with Germany and the U19s. And yeah, out of Atlanta. He and his dad used to send me videos, and
his dad's a former player.
What's up?
His dad's a former player.
Oh yeah. And then he has a brother coming up named Lukai Anderson, who
I did not know that.
27. He's supposed to be like 6'4", 6'5".
Wow.
So yeah, another person to watch out for. I think he's going to be playing for Germany sometime in the summer. But yeah, man, I think that's really intriguing. And then just the shooting versatility you get with those two guys, building from there. I know they can use depth kind of that now that they've traded Jaren, they're looking for the new Jaren, but I'm not sure you find them at the 19th pick. And I just think the talent of a Christian Anderson would be really intriguing for Memphis's rebuild.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that that's a good fit. And you especially would allow them to move forward without Ja. Now, with the 20th pick, the Charlotte Hornets, I think would go Patrick Gumba. They have the Mooses lose Diabate and Ryan Kalkbrenner. They bring in Patrick Gumba. This is a team that I think they've made it quite clear that they like Duke players. They also like high character guys like Patrick, and they already have two bigs that I think they like. And adding a guy like Patrick in there, out of the other players that were available, Koa, Morez, I think bringing in Patrick, you're taking a flyer on someone that health might be a concern, but this is a guy, besides being a force in the paint on both ends, averaging 11.6 rebounds in limited minutes, he's an underrated passer. He's a solid passer. He can either pass to guys cutting baseline or even operate a little bit out from the high post elbow area. And he's someone who's averaging 65% true shooting and just being able to be not just a screen setting, rim running big, but showing other ways to impact the game. And he's athletic. Like him and Musa Diabate, Ryan Kalkbrenner, and Patrick would make a pretty solid center back committee for the Hornets. And they're a team that's trying to, continue to climb up the ladder of the Eastern Conference and become a contender. And I think that's a guy that would fit the type of player that they want.
All right. With the Nuggets as the 21st pick, I am going to take Bennett Skirts, and I think they could use a little help at the backup point guard position. And then Sturts, to me, somebody that reads the game exceptionally well. So, can read and react off of it. And Nikola Jokic, really great passer, really good shooter. And to me, Jamal Murray has always been a combo guard, like a guy who can play with the ball, next to a point guard. So yeah, to me, taking like a Bennett Sturts and then having him split some minutes, like just as the backup and maybe even with Jamal at times, would be pretty intriguing at the 21st.
Yeah, I agree. And I really like that pick. I didn't even think, him going there would be something that would be possible. But now that I saw like us do it right here, I think that's one of the best fits because he can play either guard spot. And he would find everyone talks about those Jokic minutes that they can never solve. How about the Jamal Murray minutes? They've never been able to solve those since Monty Morris left. And I think that's really what I thought. I was like, damn. Like, and I'm not like trying to discredit Monte Morris, but like Monte Morris was awesome for them, but like it wasn't like Bennett Sturts could like be Monte Morris on crack and like be way better.
Possibility.
Well, I don't know if necessarily being on crack makes you better, but like in this scenario.
Yeah.
Now with the 22nd pick, it's the Atlanta Hawks, and man, Koa Peak has slid down our board, and maybe that's just because you and I aren't the biggest Koa Peak, but I also feel like this could be a range where he would go. And however, to me, the problem is you're looking at a squad that Ansay Saleh and Quinn Snyder, Ansay Saleh coming from the Warriors and Quinn Snyder having his own preference in players. Kareem Lopez interests me right here because they took.
Do you not see him as kind of overlapping with like a Risa Shea, Kuminga? Yeah, I'm just wondering about that.
Well, I was gonna say, I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they would want to build the team to be, like Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Dyson Daniels, Darryn Peterson, Jalen Johnson, Zachary Risa-Shea, Jonathan Kuminga, Kareem Lopez, and then you have like your bigs, and you have like this interchangeable like bunch of size next to like 6'8", 6'9" guys who can shoot, extend the floor. Because I don't think The one big right here I think they would have interest is probably Morris Johnson. I don't know if are we saying Jaden's going back?
Really up to you, man. Yeah, if you want.
I think he's going back.
I think to me, if
He goes
he's
back.
not going top 20, then he should probably look at going back. But yeah, he was such an interesting case because he went to college early, and then now is still one of the younger players in the draft. So
you know what? I'm gonna say he stays in the draft, and if Atlanta would be able to take a flyer on him. I feel like if he did,
to me, he's still a guy worth taking a flyer on.
Yeah, you
just
take Jaden,
defense, the physical tools, and I think you can still build some skill with him to figure something out on offense. And so athletic when he is healthy.
Yeah, that's literally being healthy. And we even saw a flash of it this season in that St. John game where he was able to get out there. He's like a physically imposing guy, and he's in a man's body. Hopefully, maybe they get to redshirt him right here. But him and Onyeka Okongwu could be a pretty cool duo. And they also have Asa Noel there. So with the 23rd pick, it's now the Detroit Pistons on the clock. So what are your thoughts there?
Man, they are, best team in the East right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, still, I think the one thing they can definitely use is shooting. But yeah, there's still some depth to be built there too. Man, yeah, that power forward spot's looking a little thin. They got to figure something out with Tobias Harris. I just don't think you could go with a Koa Pete there based on the shooting.
That's what I'm saying.
Russ Johnson Jr., I to me would be kind of an overlap with their bigs already. Yeah, man, this is not an easy one for these guys.
It's not.
And gosh, yeah, I don't want to fly down too low on my board either.
So who are you going to go?
Geez, man. That is interesting because yeah, I'm looking at Kareem Lopez as a possibility here. Maybe let's just do it. And a guy who could be a long-term, a bit of a project for them that could pay off, considering his 3-point rate, his ability to do a little bit of everything this year for a good college basketball team. But let's go with Amari Allen.
Okay. Amari Allen. I thought you were going to go with Kareem Lopez, but I like Amari Allen, especially what you said.
I think the shooting there, and then also the passing ability that he's shown, in pretty good size at the wing spot.
Fits the mold of player that they like.
Yeah. And a better shooter than an Asar Thompson or Ron Holland, at least projectably.
Yeah. Worst comes to worst, he's a 3-and-D guy.
Yeah.
Now, with the 24th pick, it's the Philadelphia 76ers. I think this is where Koa Pete would go. I think Daryl Morey and his statistical models would say he's the best player available. They need a power forward and a backup big. What Koa brings in, coming from a family of NFL linemen, he's an undersized. He's a four who's an undersized 5 more so, that is able to bully his way to the basket. He started to rebound better. He's a decent secondary, maybe tertiary playmaker. His skill set's offense can kind of guard, but he's a bruising 4.
He's a good guard. He's a good defender. He's not a shoot
4,
guy.
Small ball 5.
He's not a shoot guy. He's a dribble pass guy though.
Yes.
And so to me, coming from high school, I think people probably projected him to be a better shooter than this. I never really saw it when I saw Koa Pete, but he was a guy who developed really early. He led the 3SSB in scoring at the U17 level as a 15-year-old. Like, this is a guy who's been doing it for a really long time. Won 4 gold medals with USA basketball and like the 16s, 17s twice, and then the 19s this past summer. Yeah, like winning guy, been a solid part of their winning team this year. And there's still some skill to build with, and he's really strong.
Yeah, I agree with that. And like, I think he's something in between Brandon Clark and Beef Stew.
Not sure on that one, just because like Isaiah Stewart was so much longer and Brandon Clark was so much more athletic.
But I feel like that's like what I mean by like they're for how good Beef Stew is as a defender, rebounder, as a just physical athlete, and then Brandon Clark offensively, how much more talented he was. I feel like Koa is something in between those two.
Yeah. Okay.
25th pick, you are up. You are the Los Angeles Lakers.
They're obviously going to draft someone here to replace LeBron James. That is
probably
100% what they're doing. And or to finally get a center that could replace DeAndre Ayton. But a guy I'm intrigued with here, yeah, he's really improved just in terms of his shooting ability this year, and then some on-ball play, where at the same time I think he could do some good stuff off the bench maybe with this Lakers group. But give me Dalen Swain. I just think he'd be an intriguing guy to throw into this group, as somebody that could do a little bit of everything. I think Pat Gongba would be a possibility here. But once again, like the injury is kind of scaring me, man. So yeah, I don't know. To me, they absolutely could look for a big here. But I just think they're trying to get some more talent, and I think Dalen Swain would be a pretty interesting pick there.
Yeah, I like Dalen Swain, and he's been someone who's been climbing up draft boards to the point where I think when you're looking at a guy who's 6'8", 225 pounds, similar reasons why people like Amari Allen, where they're versatile defenders, they're able to bully smaller opponents while also being able to stretch the floor and play within the team's offense while also being able to take over sometimes. And I think those are the type of players that do a really good job of fitting in as, wings forwards in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
With the 26th pick, it's the New York Knicks. Man, I think Morris Johnson straight up right here. Maybe a Joshua Jefferson, but they need a big man. And with the probability of Mitchell Robinson leaving, Morris Johnson, another physical, high motor, big, who's a beast on the offensive glass, protects the rim well. He's playing out of position at the forward position. He's averaging 13 points, 7 rebounds, and almost 70% true shooting. He's a guy who's going to come in, be an energy big, who can clean up the glass, be a rim runner, do a little bit of everything. And for being 6'9", 250, he moves so well. He's got a little bounce in his game. I think he's going to end up being a lot better than people expect. If a team like the New York Knicks at 26 are able to get him, that's a steal in my eyes.
So we are on to the Boston Celtics
at 27.
Yeah, 27. And they seem to be, now that they have Jason Tatum back, a team playing with house money.
Mm-hmm.
They did trade for Vooch. Is Vooch in the last year of that contract?
Yes, he's expiring, but they probably will extend him to a cheaper deal.
Possibly. But at the same time, and Neemias Queta has played really, really well. They could go for a little more guard depth here, but I am going to go with Pat Gongba.
You're going to go Pat Gongba?
Yeah.
But I already took Pat Gongba.
Oh, what?
I took Pat Gongba, bro.
Did you? Well, when did you take him?
I took Pat Gongba with what do you call it? Over here with the Hornets.
Yeah. You took him for Charlotte. My bad, dude.
Oh, no, you're good. I was over here. I was like,
dude,
nice.
How did I already forget about that? I'm sorry. That is
You're
my
old.
bad.
I'm kidding.
Bro, how dare I?
I know. How dare I?
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
no. It was completely my bad for not realizing you took them. Gosh.
What to
Let's
do? What to
take.
do?
What were you saying?
I said what to do. What to do?
Yeah. Well, this is it's an interesting spot. I'm kind of in the leaning that Tunde Yusufu goes back to Baylor.
Okay.
So he might be an interesting one. You know what? Like a guy who I think the Celtics kind of like though is Joshua Jefferson.
I think they would like Joshua Jefferson too.
His versatility. Just somebody that you could bring off the bench to play that 4 spot.
I agree. Now,
You're
with
taking Kareem Lopez, you're running up to the board.
Yeah, if Boston had 27 takes, I'm just blanking on. Yeah, say that again. Joshua Jefferson, who fits perfectly for what they would want. The Timberwolves look at this. Kareem Lopez, he comes in to join Terrence Shannon and Jalen Clark as the continuously hyped up future depth of the Minnesota Timberwolves. And if he were to ever get an opportunity in Chris Finch's rotation, he's someone who, again, another jack of all trades, master of none. He's a guy who has had his moments in New Zealand. He is a pass dribble shoot guy. I really think he projects more as a guy who combo forward who will be able to stretch the floor. I think he'll be a decent shooter. They'll be able to hold his own defensively, nothing special. And I don't think he has like any sort of creativity offensively or athleticism to make himself a shot creator, but I think he's someone who will play with inside the scheme of an offense, and especially like a team like Minnesota, he's perfect and he's got NBA size.
All right. Oh, we are at the Cavaliers.
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland. Well, we think that the Cavaliers are getting LeBron James next year, correct?
Yeah, that's the thought.
Yeah. They do have quite a few shooters. I'm going to go with another one and take Isaiah Evans.
Let's go.
Yeah.
You think he stays or he goes?
I'm leaning with him probably going. He could stay. I think they have a lot coming in, and I'm going to be honest, the team next year is not going to have a Cameron Boozer.
Yeah.
Like, Deron Rippey, I think is going to be a super talented freshman. I think Cam Williams has a lot of talent, but he's not that level of like, an offensive creator that Cam Boozer is. Yeah, man, I don't know. I have a feeling that Isaiah Evans still goes, even if he is kind of near the end of the first round range, and starts his NBA career.
No, I hear that.
I just wonder how much better he's going to get and how much higher he's going to be drafted if he keeps staying at Duke, and how much money he necessarily is going to make on top of that as well.
Yeah. To me, I think Tunde Yusufu is going to be in the draft.
Okay.
I've said I think he's something in between Josh Okogie and Isaac Okoro. He is a defensive wrecking ball on the wing, a solid rebounder. He's got a great frame. I think especially as a point of attack defender who's a slasher, that's a good rebounder. He joins the Dallas Mavericks with the 30th pick, and he's going to be someone who's just part of the youth movement around Cooper and Kingston. And I like that. I like that pick for them.
Cool. I think he has close to when I measured him, he had a 39-inch vertical. So he's in the 40-inch vertical range. So yeah, fantastic athlete as well.
All right, let's go popcorn right here.
Yeah, let's do it. quickly. All right.
Just say the team name.
We also have say the team name, and I'm gonna take a guy for them.
All right, go for it. So
and then the one thing I do want to be kind of aware of is the fact that I'm going to be leaning seniors because I have not a lot of guys who are underclassmen are going to be in the draft. So I really like Tyler Tanner. I'm super intrigued by him. I don't think he's going to be in the draft. I think it's just too lucrative. So if we're leaving off somebody to anybody that's watching, it's because we don't think they're going to enter in the draft if they are in this range.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So first senior off the board for the Memphis Grizzlies, who we had taking 2 guards already. Gosh. And then, it has to be a senior too. That's funny. You know what?
I feel like
I'm gonna take a non-senior here, and take. I'm assuming this guy enters the draft. I'm gonna go with Ruben Chignolo.
I'm all in on Ruben, by the way.
Yeah,
7'8" wingspan.
Was it that long?
Damn. Yeah,
that's crazy. Yeah, and his rebounding and defense this year have been.
Are you about to tell me
fantastic?
No ceilings. You have every player but Ruben.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Who are we making Ruben? Cyro?
Flory.
Do you just assume Flory goes back? Like
yeah, he's
let's leave Flory
possibly
out there.
JT Toppin.
Yeah, that's a guy I don't think is coming back.
Okay, or who is going
back because of the injury, and I assume the Texas Tech will want him back.
Yeah,
and, yeah.
So 31st is Ruben Chignolo. Dude, insane player.
Yeah. This is his placeholder. I just added the his in my brain. Damn.
Yeah.
All right.
32nd pick.
Knicks.
Man, I'm also like trying not because I think Ibuka Okorie is going to go back. Same thing with Elijah Arenas. I think Malachi Moreno is going to go back.
Yeah, agreed.
Man, Vasar. I think Vasar might enter depending, but he could go back depending on how his March Madness. I think Malik Thomas is going to go back because he'll get a run. So that's where it becomes difficult for me to figure out who I think specifically. You know what? We're going to go Sergio De La Rea, and the Knicks have a history of taking foreign players. So with the 32nd pick, the Knicks will take Sergio De La Rea, who's more of a combo guard who can play some point guard or even maybe play some wing. Now at 33, it's the Brooklyn Nets. Who are you going?
Brooklyn Nets, straight from Brooklyn, better known as Kirkland. The team specific part is making this difficult as well. All right. You already took Morez?
Yeah.
Okay. That makes it even more difficult. Gosh, man. The one thing, as we've been saying, and it's been pretty obvious, but the thing with NIL is it's made the second round a lot less deep than normal, and we're taking that into account as we keep harping on as we try to prolong and make our picks. I am going to go with, like a guy I think is so underrated in this draft. I'm going to go with Bruce Thornton, man.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Bruce Thornton.
I'm kind of intrigued by him, and I'm a little surprised he's not getting a little more love.
I'm actually a Bruce fan.
Great season. Oh man, you're taking Tahad completely out of things.
Yeah, he's not going to be in the draft.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah, no, Bruce Thornton, 215-pound bowling ball. I really like his game, and he's played well this year. I'm surprised, like you said, he hasn't gotten more buzz.
Yeah, I think you get a little
So
more love.
with the 33rd pick, you had taken Mr. Bruce Thornton, and that was, what team was that?
That was the Nets.
Nets. Okay.
Yeah.
Kings are here at 34, and this is where I think Zuby Ejiofor would go right here. They need another big. This would allow them to move off.
You just passed him. You passed him. He's up.
Thank you.
No problem.
And I think Zuby is a guy right here. He's low maintenance, low risk in terms of what he's going to become. And hey, St. John's won again this year, I believe. They
did, yeah.
The Big East.
So,
yeah. He's been a guy who's been a winning player. And ironically, I remember when he was at Kansas before he went there. And I think he's a center at the NBA. I know he's a little undersized, but he's a solid rebounder, good shot blocker. He's got good, got a good frame for being 6'9", 250 almost. Just the classic energy big who will be a solid presence off the bench. So Sacramento needs more guys like that. So that's where I did that. Let me just go back.
Yeah, and passing too. 3.5 assists.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So that was the 34th pick for the Sacramento Kings. Now 35th pick is the San Antonio Spurs.
Oh man, I know who I want to hear. You took Braylon Mullins for them already, but I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna take Richie Saunders.
Damn, I thought it was gonna be Brayden Smith.
No,
I like that.
Taking Richie.
I think right here, Brayden Smith would be the pick for the Chicago Bulls at 36. They need some depth. He's a shooter. Billy Donovan would go crazy with Brayden Smith on this team. Coming from Purdue, just around the corner. I like that. So 36, Chicago Bulls take Brayden Smith. 37, the Oklahoma City Thunder are up. Who are you going?
Okay, see, I am going to go with a utility wing. I'm going to go with Alex Caravan.
That was going to be my next pick. Good, solid one. We all know Caravan, the shooter. Yeah. I think Dash Daniels, do you think he stays in the draft or he goes to college?
I think he stays overseas or goes to college.
All right, so we're not going to have him in there. I'm cool with that. You know who I'm a fan of in the Los Angeles Clippers? I feel like he would be someone that they would take out of the seniors. I mean, they could go for a big and like maybe they have another pick. I think they can get a big later. I think they need somebody to help them scoring, and I really like Ryan Conwell. He's a bomber. He's got a good frame. I like what he's doing at Louisville. So I have the Los Angeles Clippers at 38 taking Ryan Conwell out of Louisville.
Good stuff. And now we are on to the Houston Rockets.
With the 39th pick.
All right. See that depth chart, baby. Good stuff. Oh, yeah, man. They could use a point guard. They can still use more depth a little bit everywhere. Oh, man. It's actually kind of a fun pick for them.
What are you doing?
Let's go with JoJo Tugler. I could
that.
see them taking a JoJo Tugler. Yeah.
I like JoJo Tugler.
A little more. I'd like, you have Steven Adams coming back from injury. Clint Capella. I don't know if they're still going to keep him. So, yeah.
No,
I think big monster wingspan, and then the defense and rebounding that Houston wants. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, I
just
agree.
have to figure out what to do with him on offense.
So this is where we took Joshua Jefferson with Boston, and now with the 40th pick, Boston's back on here. And I wouldn't be surprised if they went double big in the draft.
Not at all.
Yeah. But they're really high on Amari Williams. We had them take Joshua Jefferson. They have Keita. Would they maybe go and get somebody out in free agency? That could be a possibility. You could argue that they need some guard depth, and I really do like Jaden Bradley and what he does. And I feel like he is the gritty type of guy that Joe Mazzulla would like. And I think that's going to be someone I think I would take. He can play either guard spot, and they're going to eventually have to make decisions with Peyton Pritchard in extending him or not, or extending and trading him. So I think Jaden Bradley gives you an insurance policy. They just converted Max Shulga, so maybe they put Jaden Bradley on a two-way as an insurance policy if Shulga doesn't work out. So with the 40th pick, the Boston Celtics take Jaden Bradley out of Arizona.
Buddy, he was definitely somebody I was looking at for one of my next picks. And he Big 12 player of the year over AJ Dybantsa.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, he was the real general behind one of the best teams in college basketball.
Yeah, literally.
And all right, so we've got the 41st pick going to the San Antonio Spurs.
Yes.
And man, what do you get for the team that has everything, dude?
I don't know.
They've got, like, I'm loving the depth situation they have right now. You know, you build those shooters with Victor. They love defense, of course. You didn't end up taking Ryan Conwell, right?
Wait, who?
Ryan Conwell?
No, I did take Ryan Conwell.
You did take Ryan Conwell? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm sleeping here. I'm sorry, man.
No, you're fine.
Gosh.
Go home.
I am home. That's the sad part. God. Oh, yeah, and they already got the two shooters there. I'm going to go with Taurus Reed. That
Okay.
was
I hate you because that was my next pick, by the way.
Yeah. Another big body.
Love Taurus
Somebody
Reed.
that you maybe start off with and with the Austin Spurs and build up. But yeah, he at least somebody that, you know, you could like possibly have as another backup big there, as well as Luke Cornett's done.
Yeah, and I really do think he's like one of the more fun prospects in here. Now, dude, Emmanuel Sharp might be my pick right here. I think it is Emmanuel Sharp. I like Emmanuel Sharp. I just want to confirm that this is the one that I think. Yeah, I would go to Emmanuel Sharp over everybody else that I'm looking at.
Sharp over everyone.
Yeah. Cool. Let's go Emmanuel Sharp right here. I don't know if you're a fan of his, but he's going to be a guy who's going to be just a defensive 3-point. I really feel like he's a bigger Drew Smith if he went to Miami at 42nd with the 42nd pick, which we just took him with. And the reason for that is just a guy who's going to be able to, you know, create defensive stops as well as be able to hit threes at a decent clip. And really, I think coming from Houston, he's going to be someone that easily embodies the intangibles and the, you know, characteristics that the Miami Heat look for in a second round pick, or, you know, one of the guys that they're going to put time in to develop. And I think Emmanuel Sharp is that guy. So that's who I got. And he's been someone that I think people need to pay attention more to.
I think the real reason you chose him is because he's an Israeli who like spent a lot of time in Florida.
I did not know Emmanuel Sharp's Israeli.
Oh, his dad, Derek Sharp, legend with Maccabi.
Did not know this. Did not know this. I knew his dad was a player
for Israel before. Yeah,
I knew his father played. His father was a former player because I read that like when I was doing research, but I didn't know like. It does say American or Israeli. I saw that he played in Israel, but I didn't know he was naturalized.
Oh, I think he was born there.
No, he was born in Orlando.
Oh, was he born in Florida? Yeah.
He naturalized Israeli citizen.
Okay.
Yeah. So
through his dad.
Yeah. I didn't know that. I knew his dad played. Like his dad was a good basketball player. Like you said, he played for Maccabi Tel Aviv.
His dad coached him in high school too.
Yeah. 43.
All right. I am going to go with. I still think they can even use some backup point guard depth. So let's round out the Houston guard duo and go with Milos Uzan here.
Milos Uzan. Now I'll follow that up with the 44th pick in this draft. Look, I think the Brooklyn Nets, they're gonna. Do you think Adam Ataman is gonna enter the draft? I could see
Adam
him.
Atumna, I don't think he's going to
Atumna,
enter the draft. To
Atumna,
me, he looks like a guy who's going to go to college. But
Atumna.
yeah,
Yeah, I said
I'm
Atama.
not sure about that. Ataman.
Ataman. Ortega
You're
away.
thinking about your empire, dude. It's cool.
I know. So Ortega is someone that he's just got an NBA frame. He's a hustler. He's got a good athlete, good on-ball defender. Look, he's a energy, high motor, defensive-minded wing that at this point, yeah, he's a little undersized in terms of height. Got a big wingspan, got a good frame. You're taking swings if you're the Brooklyn Nets right here.
And then we go back to the Nuggets of Denver.
Yes, with the 45th pick.
45th. Man, Spencer Jones has been so solid for them. He was a guy, like, when he came into college, a lot of people really loved what he did at Stanford, and then I thought he kind of stagnated. But yeah, he's been really solid. But I'm guessing they'll look to somebody on the wing here. And man, dude, you got to organize these seniors.
I know.
That's the problem, because yeah, people's draft boards are still I'm going to go with another like Nuggets kind of guy. Give me Darryn Williams here.
Darryn Williams, all right. That was someone that I was thinking about. You've always hated on Darryn.
Yeah. I've always wondered how he'll fit because of like his lack of length and being maybe like a little in between positions.
Mm-hmm.
But I think on Denver, that like seeing the team made the pick pretty intriguing to me. He's a skilled player.
So the guy that I wanted isn't here, so this is going to be a placeholder for Keyshawn Haugh.
Oh, Keyshawn Hall's not on the list?
Yeah, he's not on the list, man.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. You're telling me.
Good pick.
Yeah, I think if you're not watching Auburn, which crazy to think Auburn isn't in the tournaments, but Keyshawn Haugh is
it's not crazy at all, by the way.
I know, but he's a powerful forward who's been a bucket getter for them this year, 20 points a game on 27% usage rate. He's got a great frame. He can play both forward spots. I think at the next level, he's going to be a player that you should pay attention. So with the 46th pick, Keyshawn Haugh to the Suns, and he fits the type of player that Jordan Ott would like. And yeah, that's my pick right there.
We got at 47 the Spurs with their 500th pick of the draft.
Yep.
Guy who's kind of like become maybe an intriguing second round flyer to me. Give me Baba Miller.
Dude, Baba Miller, I've seen climb up boards.
Yeah. He's just gotten a lot better as time's gone on, and has always had some intriguing physical tools and fluidity at his size.
Mm-hmm.
And worth taking a flyer. Like, we're at the pick now where if these guys play beyond 4-5 years, then it's a winner for you.
I agree. I don't think Ruscic or Momo Faye are going to be in the draft.
Agreed.
So for some reason, Nate Biddle is not on this list. With the 48th pick, I'm having the Toronto Raptors take Nate Biddle.
Nathan Biddle.
And that's just because I think they need a floor spacing big who's 7 foot on that team that would help like clear up the clogging of the paint when there's Brandon Ingram and everybody out there. So now with the 49th pick, the Orlando Magic are back on the clock.
Yeah, as an Oregon fan, I approved that pick. I think Nathan Biddle it was a tough year for everybody involved there, but still has always been a talented player with NBA center size. And gosh, man. Orlando Magic.
Orlando
Correct?
Magic, yeah, with the 49th pick.
49th pick. Orlando. Oh, you're still talking about shooting.
Yeah.
You're still talking about shooting, even with Desmond Bane. Yeah, you got some guys who are about to come up on extensions and may not hang with the team. You're right at like a place where Ibuka Okori and Ivan Karchenkov are two guys I'm super intrigued with, who I think go back to college. So I'm not going to take either one, but if they were available here, I'd take them in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say, gosh, the senioritis of this, Cyro. That's the tough part.
That's literally what it is.
Yeah. Like seeing guys who will actually stay in the draft. Oh man. Let's go with a guy who I have liked in college in general. No, he kind of clashes. I was thinking Malik Renew, just because at this point,
Yeah,
you don't really care too much about depth or anything, but just you're looking for swings. Man, yeah, this is so tough when you have to like just consider that it's a senior, because that's who likely is going to stay in this draft.
yeah, isn't that the worst?
Yeah, no, this is brutal. Oh, you know what? Yeah, let's just go for it. Kind of a mini Jalen Suggs-ish dude, but who's nowhere near the athlete. But let's go with Kylan Boswell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, they're
Tough
not
little dude who, you're hoping they'll just be a pesky defender.
Yeah, no, I get that. That made sense to me. Now the Dallas Mavericks with the 50th pick. I'm gonna go with Dylan Mitchell. Just they go with someone who's got an NBA body, doesn't do too much. You take a flyer, maybe he figures out he's a good rebounder, can pass, decent defender, maybe he figures out how to shoot the ball. 51st pick after the 50th pick. The 50th pick was Dallas Mavericks taking Dylan Mitchell. Washington Wizards have the 51st pick. Who are you taking?
I am taking back to the Wizards. Damn. I gotta get my seniors on here, dude. This is why it's so hard to go deep when you're taking all that into account.
Yeah.
Let's just go with the guy who I think has long been a draft prospect. Oh no, this will be the pick where I take Malik Renew, just for the heck of it.
I like Malik Renew.
A talented dude who you can put on your G League team.
51st pick, Washington Wizards take Malik Renew out of Miami.
Is he not on the list? Dang, dude.
No.
The heck?
I know. That's what I thought.
It's EAW.
E.
Or AU, sorry. Yeah. AW.
Yeah, okay. There we go. Now, with the 52nd pick is the Los Angeles Clippers. And they're back up on here, man. They're a team that, you know what? They're going to take Tucker DeVries.
That was the guy I was thinking of taking for them as well.
He's going to come in and be a shooter. They like those coachable guys. Now with the 53rd pick, it's the Chicago Bulls after the Clippers took Tucker DeVries with the 52nd pick.
Oh my gosh.
Who do you have, buddy?
You're killing me, bro.
I know you're killing me, Smalls.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Let's run through this. Don't do too much.
Yeah, no, that's why I'm trying, Europe. Like, yeah, I didn't have like a list of seniors.
Look, I'll just show you the seniors that are here.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that.
Chase Ross, Donovan Dent, Toby
Lowell. Donovan
Dent's
been killing it lately, but yeah.
Trey Kaufman-Renn, Xavier Lee.
Who by the way, who is picking here? The Bulls?
You are Bulls.
Yeah, Bulls 53rd. Okay. Give me Trey Kaufman-Renn.
Trey Kaufman-Renn with the 53rd pick is drafted by the Chicago Bulls. With the 54th pick, I'm going to go with Toby Lowell to the Houston Rockets. Gives them a forward that they'll like. Now, with the 55th pick, the Golden State Warriors are on the clock.
Let's go with a guy who is just having the most insane assist-to-turnover ratio right now and giving some toughness on defense, and Donovan Dent.
Donovan Dent?
Yeah.
You're not going to give him the Asian Delight and Xavier Lee to Golden State?
No.
Okay. 55th
Not
pick,
yet.
Golden State gets Donovan Dent. Now with the 56th pick, the New York Knicks are back on the clock. And I'm going to have them take Chase Ross. He took Cam Jones' role, who Cam Jones took over Tyler Kolek. And Tyler Kolek is on the Knicks. And Chase Ross is 6'5". Now, that was the 56th pick. The Knicks took Chase Ross out of Marquette. With the 57th pick, the Atlanta Hawks are on the clock. Who are you taking?
I'm going to take let's just go with a little guard who scores quite well and has had a good year for Tennessee, Jacoby Gillespie.
Jacoby Gillespie.
Gillespie. Not even close.
I know, but I gotta
do a Wesley Yates.
Well,
I don't think either of us are taking it. Or Tyro.
With the 57th pick, the Atlanta Hawks take Jacoby Gillespie.
Close enough.
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
No worries.
Sorry, Jacoby.
That's all right.
58. The New Orleans Pelicans are here. And, man, you know what? They'll go Michael Rusic, and they'll draft and stash him.
You think he's going to stay in?
Maybe. With the 59th pick, the Timberwolves take who?
I'm going to go with somebody that I took last time as well, in Nick Martinelli. From Northwestern. He's been one of the best scorers in the Big Ten the past couple years. Tough dude.
59th pick, the Timberwolves take Nick Martinelli out of Northwestern.
Yes, sir.
You know who I'm going to hit you with?
Who's Mr. Irrelevant?
Mr. Irrelevant is going to be Lamar Wilkerson out of Indiana.
Yes, sir.
He's averaging 21 points.
Big 10.
Yep. With the 60th pick.
You sure you don't want Thierry Darlin?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
So let's go.
That's 60 picks.
Well, this is everybody. If you guys wanted to see it and enjoy it, but that's it. If you want to check out Mikey V, his links are in the description. Where can they check you out, Mikey, just so the people know verbally?
Really easy to find. I think I might be the only Michael Visenberg. But also NBA Draft Mikey V on X, Twitter, whatever you call it. And Mike, M-I-C-L, Visenberg on Instagram. But yeah, just look up my name, Michael Visenberg. And
sweet.
Thank you for having me, Cyro.
As always, Mikey, it was a pleasure to have you. I'll talk to you later, bud.
Good times. Peace.